That sinking feeling, you know the one I mean? You're halfway out the door, maybe just pulling into the driveway, and boom, it hits you. The keys, not where they should be.
Oh, yeah.
Your heart just sinks. You're locked out. Your home, your car, maybe even your business. It's universally frustrating, that sudden vulnerability.
Absolutely.
So today we're taking a deep dive into that exact moment and, well, the unsung heroes who often come to the rescue, emergency locksmiths.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically for those of you maybe in or around Aurora, Colorado, we're going to pull back the curtain on what you really need to know if you find yourself in that situation.
Right. Our mission here really is to equip you with some critical knowledge.
Yeah.
We want you to walk away understanding what an emergency locksmith actually does.
Okay.
And, how to find someone trustworthy, what to expect from the service, the costs involved. Because let's face it, when you're locked out, you're stressed, you're vulnerable.
Definitely.
Making an informed decision then isn't just about getting the door open. It's about getting reliable help when you really need it most.
That makes perfect sense. And before we really jump in, just a quick word about our sponsor for this deep dive, my locksmith, Aurora.
Great folks.
Yeah, they're right here in Aurora, Colorado, offering 24/7 service, residential, commercial, automotive, they cover it all. And honestly, their consistent 5-star reviews, they really speak volumes about their reliability and customer satisfaction.
That consistency matters.
It really does. If you need them, they're there. You can reach my locksmith Aurora at 720-408-5011. So keep that number handy.
Good advice.
Okay, so, when you think locksmith, maybe a certain image pops into your head, someone who's always, tinkered with locks.
Right, the stereotype.
Exactly. But what's really fascinating, I think, are the unexpected paths people take to get into this profession. Who are these people? Why locksmithing?
It's incredibly varied, actually. You hear stories about people coming from careers you just never connect, like an exterminator who was just fed up and found locksmithing.
Really? An exterminator?
Yeah. Or an assistant manager from Office Depot. Kind of stuck, got offered an apprenticeship and called it the best career they ever had.
Wow.
Then you have people who inherit it, family business, maybe passed down for like 50 years.
That's a legacy.
It is. Or folks from facility management, always dealing with doors and locks, and they figure, hey, I should probably get formal training. A lot are just, mechanically inclined. They love taking stuff apart, figuring it out.
The tinkerers.
The tinkerers, exactly. Cars, bikes, whatever. And for some, honestly, it was just a godsend job when times are tough,
That diversity is amazing. I even heard, and this surprised me, about people moving from IT into locksmithing. Is that like a real trend?
It really is. It sounds odd at first, maybe.
A little bit, yeah.
But think about the skills. Troubleshooting complex systems. Check. Problem solving under pressure. Check. Customer service. Dealing with frustrated people.
Okay, I see the connection now.
Right. An IT pro diagnoses a network failure. A locksmith diagnoses a lock failure. It's that same analytical approach, plus the people skills.
Yeah.
It really highlights that blend you need.
So it's more than just the tools. It's that mix of mechanical skill, problem solving, and genuinely wanting to help someone who's usually pretty stressed out.
Exactly. That's what you hear from locksmiths all the time. It's rewarding work. They're helping people in these really vulnerable moments,
Yeah.
They leave a good impression. They solve a tangible problem with their hands. There's a lot of pride in driving past a place and thinking, I helped secure that.
Yeah.
It's built on service.
That makes sense. But I also read something a little concerning, that in some areas, locksmithing is seen as kind of a dying breed.
Yeah, there is some talk about that. It definitely underscores, the need to get younger generations interested. It's a vital skill for community security. We don't want that expertise to fade away.
Absolutely. And that dedication, that service focus, often coming from these really diverse backgrounds, that's exactly what you hope for in a local company. It brings us back to my locksmith, Aurora. Those 5-star reviews, they probably stem from that exact kind of passion and varied expertise their team brings.
I'd bet on it. That commitment shows.
Okay, so we've talked about the who. Now the what. What does it actually mean to unlock something? Let's get into the core skills, the services, because it's way more complex than just like making a key copy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it's about understanding how different locks work deep down. The most common one you'll see is the pin tumbler lock.
Okay, the Yale lock type thing.
Exactly. Popularized by Linus Yale, often just called the Yale lock. Inside, you've got these little key pins and driver pins. The right key lifts them all to the perfect height, creating a shear line, which lets the core turn.
Right.
But there are others too. Lever locks, you might see those on older wooden doors. Wafer locks, common in cabinets, maybe older cars. Disc detainer locks, those are usually pretty high security.
Yeah.
And now, of course, you've got smart locks, Schlage, Kwikset, Yale, all those brands. Keypads, phone apps. That's a whole different ballgame, requires electronic knowledge too.
Right. Technology marches on. So beyond knowing the locks, there's the actual skill of non-destructive entry. Picking a lock. It's not like the movies with brute force, right?
Not at all. It's finesse. It's about exploiting tiny, tiny mechanical imperfections inside the lock. It's really an art.
So what's actually happening when they, stick those tools in?
Well, first, they use a tension tool, sometimes called a tension wrench. It applies a very slight rotational pressure to the core, the part that turns.
Okay, like turning the key gently.
Exactly. Then, with a pick, could be a hook for single pins,
Yeah.
or a rake for hitting multiple pins at once. They carefully feel and manipulate the pins inside.
Feeling for what?
For the binding pin. Because of those tiny imperfections, one pin will usually bind slightly first under tension. The locksmith finds to that pin, lifts it gently until it sets at the shear line. You feel a tiny click or shift. Then they move to the next binding pin and the next, one by one. Once all the pins are set, that shear line is clear and the core turns. Lock opened. No damage.
That sounds incredibly precise.
It is. And the tools themselves. Picks can be simple hooks, half diamonds, different kinds of rakes like city rakes or snake rakes. And believe it or not, some skilled folks can even make usable picks out of, like old windshield wiper inserts.
No way. Okay, but here's a really important warning for everyone listening. Please, please do not try picking locks you actually rely on. Your front door, your car.
Absolutely crucial advice.
Picks can break, locks can break, and you can turn a simple lockout into a much bigger, more expensive problem. This is definitely a job for professionals.
100%. A trained locksmith will always try non-destructive methods first. It's faster, cleaner, and saves you money. Destructive entry, like drilling the lock. That's a last resort.
Only if nothing else works.
Exactly. And even then, a pro knows where to drill to minimize damage, usually just disabling the core. An amateur might just wreck the whole door. And drilling always means the lock has to be replaced, which adds cost.
Got it. And besides picking, are there other tricks up their sleeve? Other ways in?
Oh yeah, lots. For simple spring latches, like on interior doors sometimes, a thin piece of plastic or metal called a mica shim can slip the latch back.
Clever.
For some UPVC doors, they might use door spreaders, carefully creating a tiny gap to access the locking mechanism. For cars, especially older ones, there's the airbag method, gently inflating a wedge in the door frame to make space for a tool.
Wow.
Or things like car jigglers, which are like skeleton keys for certain older car locks. They have a whole arsenal of techniques depending on the situation.
That mastery of different methods, from picking to these bypasses, that's really impressive.
It means they're ready for almost anything.
And having that range of expertise and the right tools, well, that's exactly why my Locksmith Aurora's 24/7 residential, commercial, and automotive service is so key. Their team has the know-how for non-destructive entry first, but also the skills for other methods if needed. Those 5-star reviews definitely reflect that ability to find the best solution for your emergency. You can call them anytime at 720-408-5011.
Good to know they're equipped for it all.
Okay, so you're locked out, you're stressed, you need help fast. How do you choose the right emergency locksmith? And what's this likely to cost? And does being local, like here in Aurora, actually matter?
Great questions. Let's start with vetting, finding someone trustworthy. Licensing is, well, it's complicated. It varies a lot by state, even by county sometimes.
Not just one national standard?
Nope. States like California, Illinois, Maryland, they have state licenses. Often requires background checks, proof of insurance, general liability, maybe anywhere from $250,000 up to $1 million.
Wow, serious coverage.
Yeah. But then you might have a place like Hillsborough County in Florida with its own local rules. So you really need to check what applies where you are.
So asking if they're licensed and insured for your area is important?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And let's bust a myth while we're here. Just having lockpicks isn't illegal in most places like Massachusetts or New York.
Really? I thought it was.
Common misconception. The intent to use them for burglary, that's the crime. Now, Washington, D.C. is one exception where just possessing them can be an issue. But generally, it's about intent, which just reinforces why you call a legit licensed pro, not some random person or trying it yourself.
Okay, that clarifies things. So vetting is key. Now, costs. People often wonder, rekey or replace?
Good question. Rekeying is almost always cheaper and faster. A locksmith can often rekey a basic lock in maybe 15 minutes or so.
Rekeying just changes the pins inside, right? So the old key doesn't work.
Exactly. You keep your existing hardware, just get new keys. It's great if your locks are still in good shape. Replacement is more for when the lock is old, damaged, failing, or you just want to upgrade security.
Makes sense. And locksmiths invest a lot in their tools, right?
Yeah.
That must factor into the cost.
Oh, definitely. A fully kitted out mobile van, that can be like 25,000 pounds just for the startup gear, maybe more. Specialized key cutting machines, especially for modern car keys, can run from a few $1,000s up to like 10,000 for the really advanced ones.
Yikes.
And car key programmers, those can range from maybe $150 for basic stuff to over $7,000 for the high-end units needed for newer vehicles.
Yeah.
So there's significant investment behind a legitimate operation.
That perspective helps understand the value. It's not just turning a key.
Right. And while maybe the average locksmith isn't getting rich, the top pros, the ones who run a good business and know how to provide comprehensive solutions, can definitely earn a good living, sometimes grossing over $100, maybe even more.
Okay, so vetting costs.
Right.
What about locality? Does using someone local, like in Aurora, make a difference?
It really does, I think. Mobile locksmiths are becoming the norm, lower overhead than a physical shop.
Right, they come to you.
Exactly. But having a truly local established business, maybe one that's been around for decades, that builds trust, it implies they're part of the community, accountable. And in today's world, where you're probably finding them through a quick online search.
Yeah, on your phone, in a panic.
Right. Knowing they're actually in Aurora, not some dispatcher sending someone from miles away, means potentially faster response times. And again, that local accountability.
That definitely makes sense. And this ties straight back to our sponsor, My Locksmith Aurora.
Perfect example.
They operate right here in Aurora. They offer that 24/7 service we mentioned. Those consistent 5-star reviews point to local trust. And you can reach them directly at 720-408-5011. They really tick all those boxes for vetting, reliability, and local presence.
Sounds like a solid choice for folks in that area.
Okay, let's make this even more real. Can you share some, real-life stories or maybe even some funny moments from the world of locksmithing, plus any final practical tips for our listeners?
Sure. Locksmiths often see situations that go beyond just a simple lockout. Think about a business, maybe a retail store, where a manager leaves suddenly and takes the keys.
Oh, that's a security nightmare.
Exactly. A locksmith gets called in urgently to rekey everything, securing the premises right away. Or they might be fixing one lock and notice other vulnerabilities. A poorly secured window, maybe recommending better patio door locks. It's often about providing that broader security advice.
Going the extra mile.
Yeah. There's a real sense of pride in that, in truly securing their community. They know they're making a difference in people's safety.
I love it. And any lighter moments? Quirky stuff?
Well, we touched on the weird career paths, the exterminator, the IT guy. I heard one about a former professional poker player becoming a locksmith.
Reading loss instead of people.
Maybe. And there's locksmith humor, like little inside jokes. You might see a novelty t-shirt with a picture of a key next to a padlock keyway that clearly don't match and the caption, "You're not my type."
Okay, that's pretty niche.
It is. Or just the sheer specific knowledge, like instantly recognizing a lock as, say, the standard type used on U.S. mailboxes. It shows the depth of their world. Even mistakes, like anyone, can sometimes lead to funny stories later on. It keeps things human.
Definitely. So, final practical tips for someone listening who might face a lockout.
Okay, number one, before you call anyone, seriously, take a breath and double check everything. Is a window unlocked? Is the back door open? Did you hide a spare key somewhere you forgot about?
Good point. Could save you a call.
Absolutely. Can save you time and money. Second, when you do call, ask those questions we talked about. Are you licensed? Insured? Will you try non-destructive entry first? A pro will be upfront about all that.
Transparency is key.
It is. Third, don't be surprised if a good locksmith points out other potential security issues. They might suggest upgrading a lock or adding a deadbolt. It's usually not just pushy upselling. It's offering a more complete security solution based on their expertise.
Offering value beyond the immediate problem.
Exactly. And finally, maybe a little perspective. Locksmithing, especially emergency calls, can lead to burnout. Good locksmiths often set boundaries to manage that. So understanding that just helps appreciate their availability when you do need them urgently. They juggle a lot to be there.
That's a great point. Understanding the demands of the job. And these stories, this commitment, it really highlights what you get with true professionals.
For sure. And again, those consistent 5-star reviews for My Locksmith Aurora, that's the proof in the pudding. It shows their dedication, their professionalism, and their readiness to provide trustworthy solutions, especially when you're stressed during an emergency. They get it.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive into the world of emergency locksmiths.
It's a fascinating field.
Yeah, from the unexpected ways people find their way into this trade to the really intricate skills and tools they use and how critical it is to choose the right person. Hopefully, you listening now have a much deeper appreciation for this expertise.
We've definitely seen they're much more than just door openers. They're skilled problem solvers, part of your community, ready to help when you feel most vulnerable. It takes precision, trust, and a real desire to help.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to leave you with. Considering this blend, we've talked about the technical skill, the creative problem solving, the very human connection involved in locksmithing. Where else in our lives might we look for or maybe overlook that kind of multifaceted, often unseen expertise?
Interesting question.
Something to ponder. And remember, if you're in Aurora, Colorado and find yourself in an emergency lockout, you need trusted professional help. My Locksmith Aurora is there for you 24/7. Those 5-star reviews say it all.
Can't beat that peace of mind.
Give them a call at 720-408-5011 for any residential, commercial, or automotive locksmith needs. They've got you covered.